Class act. Zach Galifianakis.
2 thumbs up. That's 4. All right, Sam. What you been up to this past week?
I went home for the week, or not home, but I visited back to the Midwest this past weekend. And so that took up the whole weekend.
You know what I did?
Hmm.
I went to Great Wolf Lodge. Did you see the picture I posted of the 3 white minivans?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the dads are like, oh, this is where we park at.
No, it's probably actually a bunch of moms, except you.
I like to think it was a car meetup.
For moms?
No, for cool dads. Another thing is
for moms and you. So what did you guys do at Great Wolf Lodge?
Do you know what Great Wolf Lodge is?
Not a clue.
It's a indoor water park with slides, and there's like a treehouse thing with more slides, and there's a wave pool.
Wave pool.
Yeah, we brought my mom, so there was a.
So she went in the wave pool?
Well, she went. There was a 1-to-1 ratio with each kid, since I've got 3 kids, which was nice because otherwise, 2 2-year-olds and a 4-year-old, about to be 5-year-old, would have been a lot to do with just me and Tracy. But she was much needed, and we would have pulled our hair out without her. She's actually watching this, so I'm going to tell my mom thank you.
Thanks, Josh's mom.
Yeah, so we had the kid-free weekend, and then we did Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah, how was the kid-free weekend?
Oh, so nice. Another shout-out to Laura Lee. She's the one that watched them. Made it possible. We went on Friday night, we went to Ford and Shep. Delicious food. Then we went to Sidebar on Saturday.
Cool. That's all you did on the whole weekend?
I mean, I came here and worked.
You had a weekend without the kids and you
Tracy had to work.
Here? Oh.
Yeah, so I couldn't just be at home aggravating her the whole time.
You should have went and saw Dune 2. I want to see that.
Dune 2 looks awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, I think this week we wanted to talk about film, which I put on this sticky note.
That you got to unravel now?
I wrote a couple film topics on this sticky note.
Oh, my God. You're useless. Did you just do that without noticing?
I mean, what do you mean? I was a present for the whole thing.
I was here, Josh.
We like film. We like shooting on film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really getting started shooting on film, but you have been a little obsessed with it for quite some time.
Obsessed is absolutely the right word.
Thank you. I know. You have a cabinet full of film cameras, lenses to match, a bag full of film you never use.
Okay.
And
let me explain the bag full of film. The bag full of film is all film that I have received, whether it be buying cameras off of Facebook Marketplace or stuff like that that's expired. And that's why I have so many. I mean, I
shoot
can't,
with it.
I do. With film, you get 36 tries, and you have no clue what you got.
If a single one of them turned out.
Exactly, and it's kind of like a game. I want to make these 36 count.
There's something that interests me about it being like kind of the beginning of photography. Film is really like the start. But I also think that it teaches, there's a lot of things that I'm learning from shooting film that I don't have to learn when I'm shooting digitally, specifically like shooting with intention. Kind of, you already kind of touched on it, or you only have those few shots per film, and you don't get to look at it and check and make sure it's actually what you wanted. So trying to put some really real thought into each shot and maybe the composition and everything of it each time, which like I feel like we kind of have the leniency of not having to do that with our like digital cameras, where a film is just like you have no idea.
And there's like not a bond, but a trust that you get with your camera when you know that it's going to perform exactly like it's supposed to, but you got to do the right input to make it happen. And that's something that I really enjoy. That's the aspect that I enjoy about shooting on film, is knowing your equipment.
In my opinion, shooting with the film cameras, it puts you in a position where you have to learn the capabilities of your camera and even how adjusting the different settings actually affect what your picture is going to look like. Even to get a picture that's editable on a film camera, you have to be able to shoot with intention and kind of know what the different things you do to it and how you set up are going to affect that photo. Otherwise, you could end up with nothing that's even salvageable. Whereas I do feel like digitally, it is significantly, not impossible, but significantly harder to get a photo that's unsalvageable.
Yeah.
That you can't make something out of using editing software. Yeah, like you can edit your film photos. I don't, but
let's
you
let's
can.
talk about that. Let's talk about that. So why don't you want to edit your film photos?
Something I like about film is the beauty of just being what it is. I'm not like a snob or a purist. I don't care if anybody else edits their photos. I just personally decided I don't want to edit mine. I want to take my photos take my film photos on different cameras and do whatever, and then get them back, and then that photo is how it is. And I think it's just another thing, that forces me to learn different basic techniques and basic things. I really do like the vintage, aspect of it, and even just like simplicity of setting up the shot and taking the shot, and then that's the photo you get. So I personally do not like to edit and will not edit my film photos, but I don't give flying shit if someone else edits their film photos. And even some people are like, they do minor edits. I don't edit. I don't even straighten it if it's crooked.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask, because I am one of those people. I'm not going to mess with the color tones and stuff, but I'll straighten it, and I will adjust. Sometimes if the lab didn't do a great job of like the contrast, I'll adjust the contrast. And if there's just, if it seems a little underexposed, I'll fix it.
Not me. I think you probably have way more photos that you're ready to share because you do that. Whereas me, I'll just like never, I just won't show off that photo that if I straighten the horizon might be better.
You bury that one deep down.
But I want to be a really good film photographer. And I think by not giving myself, because I'm someone who take that and run and be like, oh, it's fine, I'll just fix it, edit it, whatever.
Yeah.
But not even giving that to myself, it forces me to try to figure out how to use each camera every time I'm using a new camera, figuring out how to actually use it and how to use it well. Think about what lens I'm using. Think about what kind of film I have in that camera, what the surroundings are, what I'm actually trying to take a photo of, all of that. Like, I really want to learn the like ins and outs of film photography and get good at it. Like, I think film photography is so fun and interesting, and I think it's also become kind of a separate world in the industry.
I think shooting on film, it number one adds stakes to pushing that shutter button, because financially it makes no sense to shoot on film.
It's
especially if you're pinching pennies. But there's something about having to think about what you're doing. And also, one of the things that I do like shooting on film is that when I go on vacation and stuff, I will bring like that little Olympus camera. It forces me to be intentional and actually live in the moment.
It's the fun
time.
Side.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's separate because monetarily it's not worth it unless you really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You can get a film camera cheap. That's not the problem. Buying film and developing film, it costs a lot of money. Like, I mean, you think about on average, $15 a roll, $15
scans
per developing. So just to fill a roll and then develop it, you're at $30 per roll.
Makes no sense to shoot on film.
Like, it doesn't make a single sense. But it's so much fun. There's so many, it's just one of those collector type hobbies where you're just like, there's so many kinds of films and there's so many kinds of cameras.
Yeah.
And one thing I can advise is maybe don't get a film camera that's super easy to use because you'll go through those rolls so fast.
Have you found that with your new camera?
Yes. Well, which one? But
the one of the auto.
So I got a Canon Rebel G2.
Yeah.
I got it from a pawn shop, super cheap, and it's in great condition. It works great. I really enjoy it, but it's literally looks like a digital camera, but it takes film and everything is very electronic. So it has all of the settings a very base digital camera would have. When we were at the pawn shop and we were looking at cameras and I found my new camera that I actually low-key talked someone else out of buying on accident. I didn't actually know what the kid had in his hand, but he was looking at the cameras just like me, but I didn't realize until after, the situation that I ended up picking up the camera he was looking into. But I think he was just trying to, get a used camera for a low price. He picked up that one. He Googled what it was. Smart on him. And I just heard him telling the girl that was with him that it was a good camera, but he was going to have to buy film for it and all that stuff. I don't think he realized until he Googled the model type that it was a film camera. And then he's telling her like, oh, I'll have to buy the film. And, you know, and then I mentioned to him when, you know, as the eavesdropper I was like,
actually,
no, I just let him know. I was like, it's even more expensive because we don't have a local place here in Greenville, North Carolina, that develops color film. So if you're here, you have to mail it off. So we're kind of limited to places that you have to, you know, to pay for shipping. And like we don't have any like mom and pop shop or even just like a regular camera shop that would develop it, that we can take it. So their turnaround time and the cost is even more around here because we have to mail off the rolls. And he didn't even take that into account. And I really just don't think some people really first getting into it with zero experience in photography and stuff, they don't even realize what they're taking on by if they start with film and what like the cost and the effort that there comes with taking film photos. So I said that to him. He ended up putting it down, and then I bought it. And I kind of felt bad later because I realized it clicked with me that I talked him out of buying it just to buy it. And I'm like, dang it, that's not what I was trying to do.
Sure.
But I mean, if you know, at the end of the day, I think I'm going to get more use out of the camera than he would. So.
Yeah, he definitely didn't know what he was getting into, and you saved him.
But I don't think that's uncommon. That's another thing with film. There's so many different kinds, and some of the really cool ones are discontinued, so you could get this really cool camera and then never be able to use it. I mean,
you're talking about the film types. Yeah.
I mean, about 2 cameras now that the things that go in them are discontinued. I knew that when I bought them, and they're still like discontinued doesn't mean impossible. It means it could be expensive or just like difficult. Because like the two that I have, actually, from what I've seen, it's actually not expensive. Like the one is the 126. It's not super expensive. I just have to, you know, there's only a couple places where you can get that kind of film, and it's not made anymore, so you have to get it. It's going to be expired, and you have to get it from someone who just like from a place that just has some of it left, and just kind of hope you figure it out. I guess some of them, like the 126, some of the cameras that take like 126, they can be adapted to shoot on 35 millimeter, so it's not always a waste. But I just want to try it.
Yeah, there's the Polaroid land cameras. You see a lot of those in antique shops and stuff. And they do not make the film, I guess you would call it, but you still can get like new old stock, and it's like $60 for I don't even know how many. It's called like FP100, but that's something I've always wanted to shoot on. And there's people that's been modifying those cameras to shoot medium format film, and there's like a whole community that does it. There's a guy on YouTube that I like went down the rabbit hole of watching him modify a same camera that I bought for $20 at an antique place. And that's like on my list of things to do that will probably never get done.
Well, maybe at one of the places we go to on Friday when we're going to take our Tracy approved 1413 field trip.
Only approved if we stop by Trader Joe's on the way back.
Which I'm all for because I also like Trader Joe's.
I figured you'd be okay with that, so...
Yep, I'm forming a list of things that I want to.
What you got on the list?
Check out. I don't know. I said I'm forming.
Oh, well.
Forming a list. You form your own list. I'll form mine.
All right, mine has the mac and cheese you heat up in the microwave is really good.
I'm gonna scour TikTok, and I'm excited about Trader Joe's because the closest one is Raleigh, where we're going. But we've pretty much scoured all. Oh, that reminds me.
What?
Anthony was telling me about a antique shop he got his film camera from.
Where at?
Here in town. It's not the one that you went to.
Which one?
It's near there. He couldn't remember what it was called. He was just kind of describing on like kind of where it was.
I gotta know because
I know.
I consider myself very knowledgeable of this stuff. I'll stop this podcast right now.
I know. I was just gonna say,
find out.
Right now. Let me text Anthony.
Ask him.
He's gonna look up the name.
I need to know the name like now.
Yeah, he's sending it to me. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about that trip. I'm really glad that Tracy's letting us go.
Yeah. Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy.
I don't want to get off on a whole different topic, but I feel like you do have to kind of reward yourself when you work in the sphere of editing and sitting at a desk all day or like hyper-focusing on one thing. But this is totally that. It is 100% a 1413 field trip.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think we're going to have fun.
I think I've told you I'm excited for it like
100 times. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's okay. I mean, I'd rather you be excited about something than not. And I think, I really do think we're going to have just a nice day. Not even just not at the studio, but like we really do have a lot of fun when we go. And
Sam's always down when I'm like, hey, you want to go look at, yes.
I love doing that.
But don't you have to do this? Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yep. Leave it to me to put something off. Song of the week.
Song of the week.
Anyway.
My song of the week, I wrote it down so I don't butcher the name. M83, and the song is called Solitude.
Sounds like song for me.
It is. I think, again, there's a theme. I think I've made you listen to this. But the song, mainly instrumental.
The alley on Cooper. Anyway, go ahead. I'm going to Google Maps it.
Yeah, do that real quick.
Keep going.
Google Maps it.
Yeah, you don't say that.
Turns a verb.
You don't
Have
say
you
that?
Maps it? No.
Yeah, did you Google Maps it? That's what I say. I know that's not right. That's how I say it.
I like it, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
I like it because it's super moody. It's another video.
Oh,
it's another song that it just lends itself to video. I've seen it in multiple Netflix shows, or at least one, okay? But I feel like I've seen it in multiple ones. And it kind of has this Phil Collins In the Air Tonight sound.
I feel like I should have done this a long time ago.
Anyway, listen to it, Solitude by M83. What's your song of the week, Sam?
My song is If It's Only for Tonight by Rich Henderson. It's another guy I've been on record saying he's got the voice for vinyl. This song specifically, it's my favorite by him. He's got a real like Appalachian alternative sound, and I really enjoy it. His songs are another one where the lyrics are pretty intense and sad. It's sad if you listen to it. It's a bummer, but also empowering in a way. It's one of my all-time favorites. I think that's what all of the songs coming in the next few weeks are going to be, are some of my all-time favorites.
Probably forever.
So all I can say is go listen to it. It'll be on the playlist, Between Takes playlist, that's updated each week with our songs of the week. So go check it out and let us know what you think of the songs.